One of the main issues that you usually face when you are dealing with the correlations between histological and pathological correlations, the microcalcifications. You see the microcalcifications in your radiological evaluations. We see it differently here. This is our microcalcifications, and it also has, in radiology, it has several phases. It has several phases in the pathology under the microscope. This is one of the phases. We see it luminal. And I'm really quite happy that Professor Abdulmohsen mentioned that. She would like to know where the calcification is. Is it luminal, stromal, or is it clusters? I usually don't mention this, and the people that I was trained on, they don't mention it, but I think it's a really good idea to mention it. I'm going to do it from now on. I will mention whether it's luminal or stromal. It's easy for us to mention this, but in routine, I mention if there is microcalcification is there or not. And I would like to have from the radiologist to tell me, do they see microcalcification or not? And this is really helpful for us. This is another appearance of microcalcifications. We see it within the lumen. We see it also in the lobules. Rarely, as mentioned, microcalcification can be seen with the lobular changes, as in, for example, this one. This is the microcalcifications within the ductal units. This is the microcalcification with the lobular units. And this is an obvious microcalcification seen with the DCIs. This is an obvious case of microcalcification. This is another also example of microcalcifications. These are different phases of microcalcification we see under the microscope. In the pathology departments, when we receive the specimen, it's cut. You know, when they cut the sections, as I told you, we only see 3 microns. We don't really go deep in the block. As a routine, we cut 5 levels and 3 slides. So, and this is for all core biopsy. But don't expect all pathology departments are doing the same thing. So if they are not seeing microcalcification, ask them, did you cut deeper level? Did you cut more? And if not, then they have to see microcalcification. And also that microcalcification, it really goes with what you are seeing radiologically. It's luminal and it's clustered based on your findings. One calcification the pathologist needs to be aware of it is the calcification of exoleithides. These calcifications can be misinterpreted, and many pathologists might not be able to see it. It doesn't show it in the H&E sections. And this one, you need to pay attention. This type of microcalcifications, if you use a routine H&E, the pathologist will look at it and say, that doesn't look like microcalcification. But if they pay attention, this is a calcium oxalate types, and they need to use the refractile lens, and this is easily here seen. So we see microcalcification. So they need to pay attention of the calcium oxalates. Another thing that needs a good correlation. This lesions, you look at it, the pathologist look at it and you say, what's going on? This looks to be benign. It's a proliferative breast change. There's apocrine changes here. And he may or she may not pay attention to this sort of fibrovascular core. And you look carefully, oh, there's some sort of fibrovascular core. And if they don't correlate with the radiology, they can easily miss papillary lesion. This is an intracystic lesions, and the radiologist will tell the pathologist, listen, there is something there, it doesn't really go, and it doesn't coordinate with what you are seeing radiologically. So if you don't tell us, we can easily miss papillary lesion. As you know, this is the practice that in many centers, papillary lesions that you see in core biopsy has to be excised because we don't want to miss intracystic papillary carcinoma. We don't want to miss carcinoma. That's the routine practice in many centers. When you see papillary lesions, it has to go for excisions, otherwise you're going to miss carcinoma. I know majority of papillary are benign.